Your parrot is not tamed, you are not able to handle your bird, and you don't know where to start, well, I got you covered. I am telling you that in only 10 minutes a day, you can tame your bird and you can eventually handle your bird. How can we do this? Let me show you. The first thing you want to do is have mini interactions with your bird and make sure that those interactions are positive from start to finish. They are not to be long interactions, maximum 10 minutes. And that is pushing it in my opinion. So depending on what type of schedule you have, you can either do mini sessions, mini interactions of like a minute, multiple times a day, or you can just do one session, one interaction that lasts 10 minutes. The only thing here that you want to avoid is to make the session too long and lose your bird, if you will, in the sense that your bird either going to get bored, frustrated, or both are going to get frustrated because you're not getting anywhere. Short and positive interaction is the secret. You always want to finish your interaction on a positive note so that your bird is looking forward to the next one. The other thing that this is doing is that it will associate yourself in a positive manner with your bird. And this, what I'm going to be talking about here, can be used with a brand new bird or a bird that I want to call this, you must do a reset with, meaning somewhere along the line, your relationship with your bird started to be very difficult, or there was a shift that happened, and now you can no longer handle your bird without being bit, or your bird, every interaction you have with your bird ends up being negative for you, for your bird, for both, or one of them. Depending on where you are in your relationship with your bird, I think that the starting point is going to look a little bit differently. If it's a brand new bird and you know nothing about it, obviously you're going to have to go really slowly and even start in the cage. But you might as well do the same thing if you already have history with that bird. So you want to kind of evaluate your situation and go from there. One good way you can start with your bird or your parrot is in the cage. Start the interaction in the cage, especially if you are not able to put your bird back in their cage. You don't have the time to wait for your bird to go back in their cage, or you don't know how to put your bird back in the cage. So I would say that if these situation applies to you, or you're scared even of your bird, if these situation applies to you, I would say start in the cage, little interactions. So if you have the time to do multiple interaction, and an interaction can be as small as walking by the cage and giving a treat to your bird. One really important thing though I want to say is you have to find a treat, a food that your bird really likes that is not part of their regular diet. That is very, very important. Once you've found that treat, that special treat, you can use this to your advantage, and you can use this to associate yourself in a positive manner. So the only way your bird is going to get that special treat is by interacting with you. So at first, you can just really start by walking by the cage and just give that treat. And then depending on the reaction as well, if your bird is even aggressive when you just walk by the cage, well, maybe what you want to do is just stay there until the behavior changes, the body language changes, and you see that your bird is more comfortable and content, and then you reward. So not only it reinforce the presence, your presence in a positive manner, but also it's rewarding a calm behavior. And this doesn't take long. When I talk about interaction, I'm not talking about a full on training session. This is an interaction. Being by the cage and giving a treat, this is a positive interaction, and it doesn't take a long time, just a few seconds even. Once this is working, now you can start even training. Target training is my absolute favorite, because when you do target training with your parrot first, again, it's a positive interaction. You interact with your bird and it's stimulating the bird at the same time, and they just enjoy being mentally stimulated and doing things. And then you reward every time they touch the target. So you want, I have a full video on this on my page, but you want to reward the parrot when they touch the target gently. So that way you're also putting calm and gentleness on cue, and you're rewarding that behavior. And then from there, without even handling your bird, you can move your bird around in the cage, outside of cage, going back in the cage, and then you can really expand your interactions in your training session with your bird in that way, because now you can expand outside of the cage. But definitely, if you're at the stage where it's difficult to bring your bird back into the cage, I would just simply do the target training in the cage and move your bird from one place to the other one. They get exercise, they get treats. It's positive. And again, very important, keep those training sessions or those interactions really short, no longer than 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, 10 minutes, sometimes it's pushing it. You'll start losing the bird's interest before that. So if you're able to do multiple sessions of just a few minutes, a couple of minutes even, and then make sure that you really always finish that interaction on a really positive note, then from there you can increase the time of your interactions with your parrot. But do not go past 10 minutes. If I take example with my own birds, the one that can actually go past 10 minutes, sometimes it's Lucy. But honestly, is this to my advantage to do really long training sessions? Although she loves training, if I am ending the training session before that 10-minute mark, I find that first she learns faster, and then she's excited for the next training. So the next time we're going to train, the next time we're going to interact together, she will want to participate. And then again, once you've done that target training in the cage, it's a really nice way, and you know that it's working. It's a really nice way to just expand it outside. And again, it's a really nice way to just be able to get your bird outside of the cage and inside of the cage without your bird feeling like it's a punishment. So it's part of the training. So that could be also an interaction. When you're at the point where you get your bird out, you just target the bird out and then target the bird in, and then again out and then again in. So there's no expectations, or they don't know if they're going to stay outside or go back in, or how long they're going to stay inside. I mean, depending on your schedule, again, like I said, it really depends what you can do. If you can only do one session a day, then it's better than nothing. But if you are able to do, let's say, 5 sessions of 2 minutes, doing in and out, this is even better, because again, there's no expectation. The bird doesn't know for how long they're going to be in their cage for, and the bird doesn't know either for how long that interaction is going to be for. So it just makes the whole experience even more positive. And then eventually, if you want to work on being able to handle your bird, you keep that same rhythm think about not longer than 10 minutes. So if I give the example of Lucy, when I first she was scared of hens. She was not tame, she was not to be handled when I got her. And when I decided to take that jump and to take that leap and ask her to fly to me, I'm going to be honest with you. I was really scared because I didn't know how that would go. She was so scared of me, and her fight or flight reflex, well, she was basically always on fight or flight mode. But if she didn't really, at the beginning, also, she didn't really I want to say she didn't really trust her ability to fly away, so her first reflex was to bite me, really. So the first time I could see, try to go with what the bird also is trying to offer you. So the first time I could see that her body language was a little bit different when she was outside of her cage. It's almost like she wanted to fly to me. You know, though, a bird, when you can see that they're going to go somewhere, they usually start leaning their body towards where they want to go. They start opening their wings a little bit. They're less in like a resting position. And this is exactly what she's starting doing, looking at me. So I just try it out. I just put my arm. I knew she was scared of hands, so there was no way she would land on my hand. So I just put my arm up. And I have to say, I was so scared. I have long sleeve, and I said, well, if she bites me, she's just going to bite my shirt. And she flew to me and actually reflex. She tried to bit me, but it wasn't like a it was like I'm scared. What am I doing on this arm? And then she flew back to her cage. And then the second, I didn't have time to give her a treat because everything went so fast. But I asked her again to fly to me. And then I literally shoved that treat, a big treat, in her mouth so she wouldn't be able to bite me, because what I wanted to associate the flight to me into something positive. I didn't want to reward that bite. I wanted to reward the fact that she flew to me, and then she flew back to her cage. So we did three times like this. I swear it was maybe like a 3-minute situation. It was very, very small. And then I started doing this again and again and again. And think about this, not more than 10 minutes. And if it's only one time a day, it's only one time a day, and that is enough. What happens is that you're banking on those positive. So every time you have a positive interaction with your bird, you're putting money in the bank, and you're putting money in the bank. What you want to prevent is having an interaction that ends on a negative note, because then you're withdrawing money from the bank. So you want to have your bank account as full as possible with your bird, so that if something happens, and because sometimes it will happen, it will not end on a positive note, you don't get on into the negative. Because when you get into the negative, it's really hard to go back up. You get into that pattern of having a bad relationship with your bird. So you want to really prevent this. So you always want to end on a positive note. So the shorter session, the better. And it doesn't have to be all day long. It absolutely doesn't have to be. And I can assure you, I work a full-time job, and I've been able to train Lucy to tame her. She now lands on my hand a year and a half after getting her. And at the beginning, I could not, she wouldn't even handle my hand close to her. She wouldn't fly to me. I couldn't do anything with her. Literally, she was absolutely untamed and not to be handled. And even the breeder that I got her from literally said that to me. So I'm telling you, it can only be a 10-minute a day with your bird. But instead of being a whatever, or having the bird out but not really knowing what to do, or telling your bird, don't do this, don't go there, and shoving your bird, or having bad experiences because your parrot keeps biting you, It's better to have short interactions or just one interaction a day of 10 minutes, but that interaction is positive from beginning to end. This is how you gain trust. This is how you build your relationship with your bird. So I hope this video helps you. Give it a try. I'm telling you, it's not about the amount of time you spend with your bird, but it's about the quality of time you spend with your bird. Don't forget to subscribe and look up for our weekly live. We now go live on YouTube every Saturday from 10 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and you get to choose the topic of your choice into the poll under the post tab or on my Instagram page, Anniesflock Instagram page. The link is in the description box below as well. And I will see you next time. Bye.